to 6 frames will go through to the title match. The crowds have been terrific all week in this brand new Fergal O'Brien alongside me. And Fergal, well, you have happy memories of playing Trump when he...
5 times, to be honest, he's dismantled me. His safety's obviously improved, and then I think it's fair to say his scoring power is a little bit better than mine.
But for his opponent, it's all brand new. But what an opportunity for him. He's played so well to get here, Wu Yize. But Judd Trump's long potting this season looks to be back to something near its best. And
both players very open and attacking. Wu didn't quite reach the balk line there anytime. Obviously so much more experience of these, not just conditions, but the pressure involved in semi-finals.
17.
The week.
Table got recovered yesterday after the quarter-final, so
33.
might be a slight adjustment. Ronnie O'Sullivan, in one of his interviews during the week, highlighted the fact that a little piece, they're able to go with the flow more.
40.
Has less effect on them. And so far it's looking like a dream start.
46.
Long red to get in and every chance of winning this.
I think all that's been missing from Trump's game in where, but having now ended that drought with his victory at the English Open, his second in that event, like fatigue, which could have been a factor given the jet lag coming over here to China with such a short turnaround, is much less.
Yeah, sure sign of the form, and we're only just mid-October, pushing up to 30 centuries. For plenty of players in their career, they wouldn't. And I said we're only in October.
Well, that red was frame ball barring Snookers, but Wu Yize isn't going to get the opportunity. For century number 5 in this tournament.
One and two.
Breaking the tournament. The 144 is not too shabby. It's settled for that.
Century to open left corner. Judd Trump slotted it in and never looked in any difficulty there. It's in the final here in Wuhan. Ali Carter, conqueror of Liu Haoshan earlier by 6 frames to 2, winning the last 4. Wu is a terrific pot his opponent in. He backed himself and he made a century to win the match. And he's got to back himself again today. Clearly he's under pressure as well.
Yeah, you feel
naturally confident player. Backs his ability.
17.
And were he to win today,
yeah, big occasion for him. Obviously About to be out of his
25.
comfort zone. It's important he tries to match against Ronnie.
So just a safety, but at least he's now had a feel for things, having been shut out in the opening frame. Could do without that white going in.
Better get them.
No. But that certainly opened the Reds up. Yes, you'd have to class Judd Trump as the veteran in this match. He's still only 34.
One.
Playing that red, of course, Judd couldn't be sure exactly where the white would go. Enough self-belief today, he won't win.
One miss.
Judd Trump got it. Oh no. Overcut the red. Obviously felt he could pot it, but
One.
The crowds have been good here all week. With the Crucible being the classic example, the closer the crowd are to the players, the better atmosphere there is.
obviously a lucrative event. £140,000 for the winner tomorrow. Another big time China Open in 2011. That was when he really announced himself as a player who had made the transition, Murphy and Selby, to win it. And then immediately made the world final, of course, beating Robertson, the defending champion, in the first round, and a tough match in the final, which
I was actually at that mood of the match.
yes, he was 12-9 up at one stage, and
23.
Higgins won 18-15 in the end, although he needed to avenge that loss brilliantly in 2019 when he completely outplayed Higgins in the final. 7 centuries.
A
good example. Certainly those kind of tricky pot them like they're over the hole.
It's that shot-making ability that you alluded to earlier,
44.
that Ronnie O'Sullivan touched on, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's hard to think of a shot any player can play. You feel you can pot any ball, and you feel you can clear up from any situation.
And this went in off, although of course he got back in, with Trump failing to get out of the snooker, but then missed immediately to this left corner.
$53. Judd Trump, 53.
So
And they're not getting the green safe far.
it already feels like a big frame, this. He knows that Judd Trump is not short in that department right now, having come off the back of another title. He could take a lot of reining in.
Yeah, you feel it's a bigger frame for Wu. Obviously not just the... There was one player I thought was going to win comfortably. You definitely would have thought that'd be Judd, and if Wu was to win.
Not the cannon that Wu Yize needed at all. Just didn't catch.
Yeah, Judd was very lucky there in playing that red again. Shouldn't have been anywhere near any of the ball colours.
But right in the centre. So just the yellow required for Trump. Not one with as much authority as the opener when he made a...
Foul. Judd Trump.
And that certainly puts an end to this second frame, a frame that could have gone with fouled on the black in trying to get out of a snooker, but immediately missed the red to the left corner. And in trying to escape a snooker, winning it on the colours after he was able to snooker Wu Yize, who left the red up. Of the occasion for Wu, his first ever ranking semi-final appearance, playing the in-form player in Judd Trump, fresh from a title last week. That's not the best from Trump, so it was obviously potable, but in.
Yeah, the fact that it was 2-0 down exactly added to it. Those chances will be hard to come by, or half chances.
That's on 5.
You'd have to say
he's not going to lack for support today. Oh, hang on. Oh, just for a challenge altogether. Very good.
at this level, this occasion, this opponent.
22.
He had that remarkable match on debut at the Crucible at the end of last season when, yes, he lost heavily to Neil Roberts' scoring form. 2-1-4-5s, 4 centuries in all, and several other frame-winning breaks for the front hall.
Yeah, and sure enough, it's too thick.
Wu Yize, 37. One.
Judd, of course, be very aware of the you wouldn't say Wu was played terrible. You wouldn't necessarily say the occasion is.
Tournament like this, those mistakes are magnified because your opponent is by definition playing well, having got this far this week. He didn't necessarily play his very best snooker yesterday against Tom Ford. He didn't, whom he beat 5-2. Matt Selt was beaten by whitewash, so it's been
23.
surprisingly straightforward for Trump so far this week.
Thirty.
Played for played that new cloth makes the red close to the black cushion that little bit easier.
53.
And the fact that he just needed the red, that made the decision for him regarding the position.
And in it goes. No heroics from Trump. Just make sure of the red to put him 29 in front. And with the black going in, it's surely going to be 3-0. So at the moment, Wu Yize scoring heavily enough from them. And Judd Trump
70.
is capitalising, pouncing on his opponent's mistakes.
73.
Still playing within himself, but he was a winning machine for 2 seasons, Judd Trump. A quite extraordinary 6 ranking titles in a season. And he's back to winning ways after his English Open triumph last week. He wants to make it a double. 0 up. So this is the frame before the interval. 6 is the target. Ali Carter awaits the winner after his comprehensive 6-2 bump. It could be a 40th.
It almost seems impossible. I'm sure he's quite frustrated. He's probably feeling good, could well be enjoying it. And a day and an occasion you were so looking forward to.
And he's certainly done that. But that will be no compensation if things fall apart today. And Trump is capable of knocking in a red like that. He's not landed nicely on the black, however. Didn't quite have the legs to get there.
Go for it. And even sometimes just little things like that. Obviously desperate for a chance. Of course, he was on.
And when it comes to scoring, he's unrivaled this season as Wu Yize catches the jaw of the pocket, but at least 100 in a single campaign. Third in the all-time list with 900.
Ronnie eventually in the centuries record. He was also talking in his interview that potentially on the basis he's 14 years. Of course, with the black being over the pocket, it was never going to be just for nothing. Just when your opponent comes to the table, the next time that he doesn't have a pot. Again, you felt.
Nine.
And for Trump, it's all about keeping his foot on the... Extraordinary fight back against John Higgins in the semi-finals last week. John Higgins describing it as being like being hit by a truck, and then of course he repeated the trick in the final when he was being outplayed by Zhang Anda, who moved from 5-3 to 7.
Twenty-one.
Excellent shot. Fair that he's able to manufacture an angle. Yeah, that's a classic example of a lot of players next option.
Joe Perry, in one of our features on the attributes of the best production manual on the game, but it enables him to generate unrivaled power and create that kind of shot that he just did.
And another example is those tricky recovery shots where it looked like I
think that black is just a measure of the confidence that Trump is feeling at the moment. He'll be a little annoyed to... And opting to protect what he's got. Push the brown into a safer spot. So that's Trump thinking...
And the fact that Wu is only 20 can't be too critical in time at heavy, and certainly at the moment that's the only way you can possibly get back into the match is by trying to beat Judd to the punch, and when he gets in, score.
Otherwise, it's likely to be 4-0 at the interval.
Played that well, got a good contact on the red and found the gap. Probably his best safety shot. Yeah, that's exactly what he tried to do. Very thin clip. Yeah, the safety shot is as difficult as a pot. I think you're always better off going for the pot. Second prize there, left to red. But managed to get a couple of balls in more awkward position.
Eight.
Still looks confident.
And he's already recovered this week from
15. 22. $29.
Typically aggressive.
Oh, good little visit there. Took them well.
Yize 35.
Again, little mini game, trying to pot the next red. Judd doesn't. Have to say, it's those small little things. That little run of the ball has went for Judd as well. Just
some frame here, Wu Yize, and still looks likely to have nothing to show for it.
9.
Judd Trump earlier in the frame opted to push the brown into favour. Already snooker's needed. Just seemed to run away from the pocket a little there.
yeah, exactly. Just pulled. Is not in a bad position. I feel from most positions where the other colours would be that you.
Yize 4.
And that settles the argument. And what a start to this semi. He's played exceptionally good match play snooker. Demonstrated his scoring skills in the opening frame with for long red. And he's capitalised on Wu Yize's. And understandably upbeat Ali Carter after his victory earlier over Liu Haoshan. Another big final for him. It's 12th ranking event final at the end of the previous one before the interval. But just when he thought he got himself back in the frame, Trump came up with a cross double on the final red. And that won him.
A little bit careless with this, plays more talent safety here. Yeah, it's just a small thing. But the shot that...
Trying to pot his way out of trouble. He didn't get remotely close to that one. But a surprise miss from Trump. There have been... Now, what can he make of this chance? Full break so far.
You'd only be human to have thought about the possibility of a whitewash. There's not much of a difference, but I know from experience, even losing 6-1 certainly doesn't feel as bad. It is a nice opportunity for him.
$17.
Normally in this position he would make enough.
It's the match situation. Wu Yize to deliver with a chance like this, given that he's 4-0 down in a race to 6. A very timely boost.
Actually reminds me when I played him, actually, of Dominic Dale. It's kind of manner and
23.
pace around the table. Not sure if he's as good a singer as Dominic is, but if he wins this tournament, I'm sure he'll be singing all right.
$41.
Good pop, but again, it's a little bit further away from.
Clinched the match against Aaron Hill yesterday, which was a superb break under extreme pressure. Different.
63.
Still 67 on the table. And it came from a surprising miss from Judd Trump into the right corner.
Uh, 68.
But it is just the one snooker, so a break of 60.
One. Nine.
It's every chance when Wu comes back to the table, he will be snookered. He's a snooker. Wasn't a very easy ready miss, but he certainly missed it by a good bit. Whoever said it is.
The time 24.
And he'll feel a whole lot who want to see a contest in this semi-final. Judd Trump, Mr. Red he would normally get, was able to take advantage. Break of 68.
8. Wu Yize 16.
Wu Yize is on the board in our second Wuhan Open to get back into this match, but you've got to start somewhere, and that was a good start. Judd Trump having surprisingly missed a red into the right corner pocket. What? It wasn't easy though, and Trump's overcut it, so that'll be a relief to Wu.
Yeah, at the forward and down, of course, very little margin for error, as I said before.
That's only the fifth frame that, including, of course, the sixth frame winning burst to the English Open against Yang Anda from 7-3 down. Could tie up Mark Williams this weekend on 25. Williams opting not to play in this event after his as well, and had a decent run, even though he said he was running on fumes towards the end, so perhaps not surprising that Williams opted to take a break with so much the national championship here in China next month. Second leg of the home nations in Northern Ireland a week tomorrow.
24.
Might be tempted to play them all. That was a nice shot there. Left himself at a nice angle, that him potting it. He was
Straight back in the group way to victory that week at Alexandra Palace, defeating Mark Williams in the title match. Was also runner-up to Ronnie and lost in the first round of the World Championship to Anthony McGill. But this season, rather than getting too embroiled in the scrappier matches, sometimes, of course, that's unavoidable. Frames can go.
the previous red he potted, played a lovely little shot, just glanced off the pack, but it's just out. The challenge and the puzzle to be solved, and then working his white ball around the table.
55.
And ideally, as he's potting those reds, if it's so much easier, doesn't have to play a big split. We are relying on a little bit of luck.
Just and in goes the red. Wu Yize took on a long red into the right.
Again, another small little detail, even in potting, that red would just frame perfect on the black. If anything, the white ran close to the side cushion, so if he hadn't missed it. But definitely over the years, his match play and a kind of a ruthlessness was apparent early on in his career. But there was probably no guarantee come. And I suppose he's the perfect role model for somebody the like of it, Jack Lisowski. And again, good friends with Judd, and he's the best example of that.
Season. This is only the 5th ranking event of the new campaign. As mentioned, century of centuries in a single campaign. The way he's going, he might emulate. Clinical stuff from Trump. Once again, in that fashion. And just when Wu Yize might be thinking, well, I've got a foothold, I've got a frame, close to 4-1 if I can win the next previous encounter, which Trump won 4-1. And of course, it's Ali Carter to play the winner tomorrow over the best of 19 frames after his comprehensive 6-2 winner, £1,000. Trump looking for back-to-back ranking event titles in China, 4 years after O'Sullivan.
Of course, very difficult to win any tournament, let alone back-to-back, but particularly because of his flamboyant game, range of shots, we tend to underestimate what a great Judd has, that mental strength, that ruthless streak, a year or a long spell for him, a year or so of not winning. Obviously that hurt him, and during the summer he's obviously put a lot of work in, come back really determined. I'm not sure who he plays in Northern Ireland, but I'm just glad it's not me.
And winning's like a drug, isn't it? It's addictive, and we've already seen with Trump, when he gets
back.
Well, unexpected.
Judd Trump 7. One. Nine. 17. 25.
Oh no, he's undercut the black.
Wu
Wow.
Yize.
Oh, goodness, how did that drop? That was far from clean. Off in a strong position to close out this match.
Seven.
I said earlier, be very keen just to win this frame now. Conserve his energy for a long, tough day tomorrow against a tough opponent who also playing very well.
22.
Probably make Judd slight favourite for the final.
23.
Again, he will have to be at his very best. Bed, probably the one closest to the black cushion.
31.
Be ideal. For colour. Usually a sure sign of a very top player. No hesitancy at all. And we needs a habit.
47.
And he's in that lovely habit at the moment.
It's 2 centuries. 3 other breaks over 50. The damage was obviously done before the interval, not least the execute the cross double on the final red. That was a hammer blow.
55.
And that is going to be into the final. They both rediscovered their best snooker after a period of frustration. For him, is a very long time before he claimed the English Open. Judd Trump wins emphatically against